Okay.
All right,
so I guess we'll fire those up then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's light this candle.
let's light this garbage fucking fire.
Should we cheers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Cheers, Jared.
Don't even say it.
Jer has a cup. We will not tell you what it's made out of.
All right. So this is episode.
Is it 17?
17? Is it 17?
Wait, hold on. I can.
Sounds
Yes, we are on episode 17.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
welcome to
checked.
episode 17 of Grownup Human Comic People. We are once again Danless for at least a little while. Hopefully, we'll have at least one Dan here before the end of this episode, but who knows? You know, we're not going to say any names.
Yeah.
We're not going to say which Dan isn't good.
Which Dan will it be?
Is good at remembering when things are. But
Stay tuned and find out.
Yeah. So anyway, so here we are. We'll introduce ourselves. Traditional. Well, to my not to my left, straight ahead of me.
I'm Becky.
Jer.
Greg.
I'm Jared. This is Grown Up Human Comic People, and we are here on a wonderful. It's a beautiful day.
It is
today.
nice. Not too hot.
No, it's a little warm in the house, but it's pretty nice outside.
Oh.
Yeah, we're all drinking. We decided to start early. What we're going to do is we're going to do this episode, and then we're going to go to trivia night at the Oaks Theater, and continue drinking there, and then we're going to come back and do another episode with hopefully both Dans back, and then by that time we should all be at least a little bit fucked up, and it'll be even more fun to swear at each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Should we play the theme music?
Oh yeah. Shit. Jared, hit the theme music.
Grown-up human comic people! Grown-up human comic people!
A lot of patience, Jared.
I know.
I'm not sure.
Welcome back to the Andy Griffith Show.
Sorry, no, not.
Yeah.
That's how you know that we've had a couple drinks so far. So since Dan isn't here, we're not going to do
Shop talk.
shop talk right now.
Or news.
Or the news. Yeah.
Wait until next episode. We'll do it then.
Yeah. But we do have a new. Actually, do we want to plug anything? I'll plug trivia. Come down to the South Side during the week, or to Bridgeville, or to Oakmont, to radicaltrivia.com. I do live trivia shows, and we have a lot of fun. Shout out to Rick Seaback, who did my voicemail.
Yeah, if you guys know Jared's number, call him and wait to get his voicemail. You will be amused.
Text me first, so I don't
Yeah.
pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Or call me and then tell me that you just want to hear the voicemail. But yeah, shout out to Rick. He did my good friend. Actually, congratulations to my friends Mark and Bree. They got married last night.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Rick was the official there, so I asked him to do my voicemail, and he was really cool about it. And I think it sounds great.
Were they married in a delightful little pierogi stand that used to be an Orthodox church?
No, but, and you're gonna love this. They were married outside the Children's Museum, and Rick gave us a little history lesson about the bell tower behind it. I'm not.
Oh
joking.
yeah,
I
just
thought
like
you
this
would.
fucking show.
Yep. Oh yeah. I saw people's faces in the audience. They were just so excited to hear
Yeah.
like a live version of, of Rick like giving a. Yeah, it was really great.
God.
I felt like I was inside one of those documentaries. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, so
He's great.
shout out to all that. Yeah. Anyway, come check out trivia sometime. Go to radicaltrivia.com or on Facebook, Radical Trivia on Facebook, and find me or anybody who works for our company. It's lots of fun.
Can we tell them about the Oaks? Us being at the Oaks?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're going to do that
No.
today, but
Okay.
so it'll be way too late. But well, actually,
I
we
meant-
should Instagram one.
Our live thing at the Oaks.
Oh,
we still doing that?
eventually, we're gonna do like we're gonna set up a live event at the Oaks. Hopefully, I just have to talk to Joe Hey Joe, if you're listening, yeah, we're gonna figure out a date for that. We'll try to do maybe shouldn't say a con, but it's like we talked to maybe some comic vendors too, and some comics, and I should say comedians, and get like a live thing going, and have a big event, like an all-day event. That'd be a lot of fun. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that event. We'll let you know we'll let you know when it's coming out.
I can say again, and I'm going to keep saying this until it comes up so we can have more people. We are going to be at Steel City Con. We are going to have our own booth. It will be in the vendors area because they didn't know where to put us really, because we're not technically an artist. Well, I guess we are. August 12th through 14th. We are you guys are. I'm not.
I meant us as a podcast. This is an art
Just
form.
for informational purposes, we'll be in the main area.
Okay.
So
Okay.
August 12th through 14th, look for the Grownup Human comic people. The humans. We'll be around. We'll have some giveaways maybe.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a big banner.
We will have a big
Let us
banner.
know. Let everybody know where we are.
Oh, also that same weekend, Midnight Rose will be playing. Details to follow. But Midnight Rose is playing at the Rant Festival that same weekend.
Lawrenceville?
Yeah, in Lawrenceville. Yeah, they're formulating the schedule as we record this. So as you're listening to it, we may even have our date, time, and location for that, but that'll be happening that same weekend. So hey, lots going on with us that weekend.
Yeah. If you're not aware, and we probably don't talk about this enough. There's Jer and Greg and myself are all in a band together called Midnight Rose.
Yeah.
So
Spelled with a K, MIDKNIGHT. Just until it becomes so ingrained in culture like Motley Crue or anything else. We gotta point that out. Your Google searches will fail otherwise.
yeah. So come see us. Come check us out. Play some face melting rock and roll music for you. And you get to see us wear some really pretty stupid costumes.
Pretty awesome
Ridiculous. I meant stupid like stupid cool.
Yeah.
They are super cool.
Yeah. Leather pants and
I don't know, Jared. You
all kinds
kinda
of
dress like
fringe.
yourself. No, not that he dresses stupid cool all the time. I know.
Not that he dresses stupid cool all the time.
It's just stupid cool all the time. is what you're
Yeah.
Yeah,
saying.
I am stupid cool all the time.
Just saying, in contrast to the dichotomy between like my stage like coat boots versus like my Birkenstocks and Hawaiian shirts that I have on. I'm not wearing Birkenstocks and Hawaiian shirts. I'm kidding about that. Please don't picture me like that.
They just
or
did.
The fact that I always look like I just woke up. If it's before 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yes. So come listen and watch us in our ridiculous outfits that are pretty fucking awesome. We got smoke and lights and everything. So it's gonna be cool.
But they're not epilepsy-inducing lights. I can
They're-
safely tell you that because I've been to your shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's
You're
excellent.
all fine.
Excellent. Okay. So any other plugs we want to throw out there? Nobody? Anybody? No.
Go to metamesh.org and drop
Yeah.
off your tax-deductible donations.
Yeah, shout out Monkey's right over there.
Yeah. Support.
doing tech stuff.
Yeah.
He's doing
Support
work.
free public Wi-Fi in Pittsburgh.
Trying to did you figure out the internet downstairs with Trevor?
Yeah, you unplugged it.
Apparently, for those of you who are listening, the kid didn't hear that. Apparently, I unplugged it,
You have been drinking.
and now, well, no, it must have been a while ago. But
Went downstairs. There's a switch there, and you plugged it into the Blu-ray.
oh, I see. Okay, so it's fixed now. Thank you. Thanks to MetaMesh and thanks to Monkey for plugging that back in for us. No, it's not fixed. Never mind.
Hello, IT.
Oh my God.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
And that was exactly what I was thinking. Like when Moss walks in and she's on her computer, but it's unplugged. I was just sending an email. He goes, "But how?" And he's holding the power cord in his hand.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
All right. So Dan had the idea of adding a section called rants to the beginning of the podcast. So I know that J-Man has something.
Yeah,
like,
Jared's
he
got
wants
Oh,
he wants
yeah.
to tear into some shit.
It's stupid fucking Arrow show. I wasn't really a huge fan at the beginning of it either. Like I still, but people were saying the third season is the worst one, right? I
Yeah.
think the fourth season is the worst one.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's just so fucking boring. It's so goddamn boring.
I'd say
Plus-
out of the four, it is the most boring. I agree with you.
Oh, it's so fucking boring. And what's the bad guy's name again?
Damien Dark.
Oh, what a stupid fucking character. Just
no,
every-
no, that's dark spelled DARHK, I believe.
God, that's even worse. I actually didn't know that.
Did you guys know this character before the show?
I did not.
I didn't
didn't
either.
I know he's from the comic books, but I don't know anything about him.
Yeah. Well, apparently he has the Force, I guess, because
I'm not
they're
really clear
real
on-
vague about what his powers are.
Yeah,
I
I'm
have
not
no
clear what his
fucking idea
powers are.
what. He has the Force. He puts his hand up and pushes stuff around with it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Sounds like the
But he can
Force.
also like drain people's life forces and shit.
I guess so.
And yeah, I don't really understand. Yeah, I'm not really clear what his. Kind of like how we don't really know what Apocalypse's powers are
Right.
really are.
Yeah,
in the
that's
new
another
movie.
vague motherfucker.
We'll get to that probably the next episode because I know Dan wants to tear into that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get there.
Okay, that's good.
Well,
You're
I
good?
will.
You're good?
I'll add.
Hey,
on
anyone
to
want to
his-
add something? to
Yeah,
that?
I do want to add on your
Sucks.
arrow rant because
Shitty.
I will tell you all, any of you Reddit fans out there, the moderators over at Our Arrow were so pissed off at this season's offerings that they actually changed Our Arrow to say Daredevil. And if you go to www.reddit/r/arrow, it's just Daredevil stuff. And it's going to remain that way for the rest of the summer, they said, which is quite amusing. That's how pissed off the moderators of that community were.
Yeah.
I
and-
barely got through this
Do you,
season.
do you want me to do the WWE thing? Because that's pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Stephen Amell.
Shout out to, I know you're listening, Steve.
We're a fan of you.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I like
I've
him.
said on our page like we should hang out with Stephen Amell. He seems
Yeah.
cool as fuck.
He wrote on his personal page, Facebook, let's say, hypothetically, that I had been considering a finishing move for the WWE. The move will remain a mystery, but it needs a name. I have faith in you, go. And the top-rated comment from a guy named Tom Benning says the Arrow Season 3 because it ends any desire for participants to continue. To which Stephen Amell replies, Tom, come on. It's
I like
so
that.
you're
I like
not
that.
alone in hating.
Thank God.
I like that he actually responded. To
Yeah,
that,
I
though.
do
That's
too.
Great.
Yeah, that is.
Shows he's at least being a good sport, you know.
Tom,
Come on. I can hear him saying that in my
Yeah.
I didn't really think hard about the ranting, but now that we're here, I just there's only a certain level of being into like sports on television that I can handle personally.
You're in the worst city for that.
Yep, I am. And you know what? We might lose some listeners right now, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we
like,
definitely are.
I personally I enjoy playing sports and being a part of a team and exerting myself physically.
And taking showers with other guys.
Taking showers with other dudes, that's cool. You know,
Stuff like that,
Get-
yeah.
being part of the whole experience.
Because that's not cool any other time.
Yeah.
For some reason it is. I don't know.
I guess in the army it's okay too.
Even there, I'm probably sure they're not happy about it. They don't
Yeah, that's a good point.
they like want to do it.
But yeah, no, I people who get like super duper into like if one of our teams loses and it ruins their whole fucking week.
Yeah,
and they
that-
talk
I
about
agree
it all
with you
week.
on that part. Yeah.
And then they you know they shout at the TV saying like, "What kind of call was that?" Even though it's like, okay, well, if you're an expert, maybe you should apply to be the coach of the team. That's amazing that you make better decisions than the person whose job it is to
To just do that. yeah.
just do that. Like that's their
Okay.
only job is to beat other teams. But like you on the side, in addition to your 9-to-5 job, on the side you're a great fucking strategist when it comes to football or hockey, whatever. So, yeah, just take it easy with the sports, guys. I mean, maybe go out and do something yourself.
It's not your whole
Get your
life.
fucking fat ass off the couch.
And I love hockey. I don't like football because especially Pittsburghers get just crazy over it. And the fact that
We get pretty crazy
Some of-
over hockey too. And actually, not anytime
Any-
teams are
anything,
winning.
man.
it
well,
doesn't
yeah,
matter
I
what
mean,
it is.
you've
Yeah.
got your fair weather fans, you've got your puck bunnies. That's what I
Yeah.
call the girl fans that only like the team when they win or when we have a handsome player.
Right.
But it's bothered me. I grew up in a very, very sports crazy family, and I never, and especially because football players genuinely aren't those great of people.
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole other thing. But like hockey, you know, keep in mind, I lived a quarter of my life in the Czech Republic, and hockey is life there. But even when they won the World Cup, it wasn't as crazy. The World Hockey championship. It was, and the Olympics.
Did you say World Cocky Championship?
World Hockey Champion.
Sounds
No,
like
I
a
said World
hockey
Cup
champion.
and then World Hockey Champion.
Okay.
I might have said it. I stumble. Forgive me.
I would be
Cocky.
curious to see the World Cocky.
I'm sure that my friend who did the Something Awful horrors of porn probably rated something called cocky.
No. I was saying like it's just a bunch of guys in a room looking at each other like, hey.
They're bro. They got pop collars.
Oh yeah. Just be. Just a room full of people from different countries representing their country, like all in like gaudy, like their flag, like wearing a shirt that's the flag of their country, just being cocky as fuck. Imagine the different nations too, like the different attitudes you would have. Like the American would probably have like a pop collar and shit. Like the I don't know, maybe like the guy from Spain or the guy from Italy, they have like slick back hair and lots of gold.
I think I imagine the guy from Spain would be just like and like what the profession would be like. Maybe the background of the guy from Spain, he was a matador. You know, like,
When the Italians lose, he fakes injuries.
The guy from Turkey just has like his shirt halfway unbuttoned.
Yeah, it's lots of chest.
His chest hair sticking out. Yeah, that'd be good. Man, the World Cocky Championship.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But to finish my point, the whole country, honestly, was not nearly as crazy and, for their winning the world championship as Pittsburgh was when they potentially could grasp the Stanley Cup.
When we beat all the other teams in our country.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
I don't know, that just the hype and the crowds.
Yeah,
that
well,
bothers me a little.
it's
But
fueled
I love the
by
game.
there's so much money to be made by the corporations who run these things, so they intentionally fuel this fire. It's like it's synergy between like the fucking NHL and all the beer companies and just everything, like all the sportswear companies. Everyone's like, how do we make people really excited about all this shit that they really
that's their
shouldn't give it,
job.
that they really should probably pay attention to other things that are more important than this.
Like
It's the
their
same
lives.
fucking thing over and over and over again. It's never any different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the rules. Like if they would like maybe like in football, like throw like a golf ball in there every once in a while, and like whoever gets the golf ball, like you know what I mean, like mix it up or something. Holy shit, it's the same shit every fucking time.
I do agree with Europeans' criticism that American football, should not be called football. They use their feet maybe 1/12 of the time.
Yeah, that doesn't make any goddamn
Yeah.
sense.
I'm not a big fan of the NFL.
I mean, technically it's called gridiron football.
Yeah, gridiron
And if you just
football.
called gridiron, sounds pretty cool actually. Like that's a cool
Yeah.
ass name for a sport. You want to play some gridiron? I do actually. That sounds
yeah,
brutal.
it sounds more manly than football. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I
And
can't-
more original for sure.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
basketball, baseball, gridiron. We don't deal with those like stupid ball toys or anything. You know?
Yeah.
Gridiron motherfuckers.
I just see NFL players
Sounds
as
like you're gonna get burned.
incredibly spoiled, coddled people. Remember, I used to teach, and I won't say any names, of course, isn't legally, I'm not allowed to. I used to be not a professor, but a teaching fellow at Pitt. So I taught the basketball players, I taught the football players, and the football players were by far the worst. They thought they were going to be drafted.
The problem is that in a lot of schools, if you're really good, especially schools that produce players.
Oh,
like-
the provost would push us.
Well,
to
they
pass them.
they get pushed through, and then as a result, they never had to deal with like balancing like really hard study and also it's the other stuff because when you're really good at a sport, I have a couple of friends who are really good at sports, and their parents. It starts at home. Like their parents push them to do just that sport and maybe study also, but they're like. I want to hang out with my friends. And you're like, well, you have to go practice, actually. Like,
Yeah.
you have to go to training. You can't just be hanging out with your friends. And so they're missing like this large chunk of
It's like
actual
Spike's
growing
dad
up.
and the Little Giants.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, where they're missing this like big portion of like growing up and learning how to take care of yourself. So it's like, why don't we take someone who's essentially like a child and give them millions of dollars? That sounds like
That's
a great
why they
idea.
all end up bankrupt.
Yeah.
What is it? Over 80% of professional sports people end up bankrupt.
crazy.
Yeah,
Something
it's
like
a
that.
huge number. I'm not sure
so
about that.
underpaid.
percent.
So underpaid they are.
Yeah.
It's because they don't give them enough. It's just not enough. You know?
That's why I mean,
Give them so much more, you know.
Yeah.
I at least respect hockey because I worked for a law firm that worked for both the Steelers and the NHL and including the Penguins, and I saw them being a lot more fiscally responsible, a lot more giving back to the community.
Well, that's
and
one
also,
of the reasons for that. I would imagine is because you can't play hockey unless you already have some money.
Oh, well,
so
yeah.
their parents probably are like, all right, listen, once you get here, like we're already well to do. We know how to deal with money. So
Right.
like once you get here, here's what you have to do to keep the money.
Yeah.
So you don't have a bunch of like you don't have a bunch of kids from the inner city becoming like hockey stars.
Right,
Because
yeah.
like to
Maybe
play
in
hockey,
Canada.
I don't. Maybe they
I'm
probably have
being
programs for that
facetious.
up there. I don't know.
Thunder Bay, all the stall kids just pushing out babies to play hockey. There's like 15 of them.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like I do respect the game because they play for like, hour nonstop without a break, and they switch off for a couple seconds and go back on. Whereas football is stop go stop go stop go.
Yeah.
But I've seen the hockey players be a lot more fiscally responsible, giving a lot back to the community as opposed to what I've seen with the NFL, except for people, big faces and names like Peyton Manning.
See, I agree with you, but I wouldn't say that gives me more respect for those players. It would just tells me that those players come from a place that's not like they're already educated about
Fair
those
enough.
things when they get there. Like it's not. The
Which is-
sport itself has nothing to do
Well,
with
let
it.
me counter that, which is odd to me because NFL players are always drawn from collegiate players, whereas hockey is usually drafted at 17.
Right, but
Nearly, hardly any of them. A few of American players come from college, but not many.
Coming from a high school that literally produces not a majority, but like we're among the top
Yeah, you are.
3 high schools in the country that produce like football players for the NFL. I've personally seen like a bunch of people who were just like, well, you're really good at football, so just do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
My high
You know,
school
like,
had a few of those too.
If they get in
Yeah.
trouble, it's like go see the coach.
Yep.
Just go talk. It's not go to the principal's office. It's
Go
you
see
better
the
go see
coach.
coach.
Yeah.
Go talk to the coach because he got to straighten you out. Because it's fucking ridiculous.
Because
So he can like mediate whatever the
Because
problem
that,
is.
cause
They
that
just
has
get-
something to do with you giving that freshman a wedgie or failing that math test.
Yeah.
His coaching of football.
Go see the coach. Yeah,
he knows how to
what?
play that
No,
one.
I've seen that, and it's sometimes it's almost always, and I don't know if this happened with Woodland Hills. I'm from Penn Hills, but it was the athletic director who was the coach of the football team.
Yeah.
And he would just get all of his stars out of trouble.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's not there anymore, but he did.
Which I think is the thing that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I
I mean, it
can't-
happens in
can't say
college
how
too. I
much.
told you that their coaches, the provost, would come to me and say, "We really got to get this guy passed. Can we offer him tutoring?" And I'm going, "He doesn't even show up."
Yeah, yeah. So to say, I think the point was that like, because a lot of the kids who come from my school district personally, and a lot of from yours too,
A few from Penn Hills. Yeah.
like there's not that many rich kids
No.
at either one of those school districts, and so when you draw kids from like a lower class situation, and then you just send them through, and then they're like, "Oh, you did a great job. Here's millions of dollars," and they're like,
Then they're
"Okay,
obviously going to
my-
spend it like a child.
Right. You're going to spend. Yeah, they have no idea what to do. So, saying that, like a hockey player, I don't have more respect for the hockey players because of that. They don't do that because they know they were taught not to.
Yeah.
For the most part.
The other thing, and this is the last point I make, hockey draws from a much more international crowd, whereas the NFL is purely 90% American, maybe some Canadians.
Well, yeah. In fact, I would liken that whole like fiscal responsibility thing to being like, when's the last time you heard like a former NASCAR driver who's like gone broke or done something really crazy? It's like no, because to get a NASCAR, you have to have
money, yeah.
like a ton of money. Like
Yeah.
your kid has to come from a place.
We
where,
talk about that kind of shit all the time. me and
Yeah.
you.
Well,
like
you
like
can't- I can't
motocross.
Yeah, motocross.
Like
yeah.
what? How could you possibly grow up doing that unless you were rich?
Yeah,
Well,
there's
or
no way.
jet ski, like fucking wakeboarding.
Yeah.
Your family has to have a fucking boat.
I mean,
Yeah.
I lived in a small city called Olomouc in the Czech Republic, and I lived there for both of the NHL lockouts. And I saw these NFL players that weren't, the Sidney Crosbys. They were like the second stringers in defense usually. And one of them, and I'm not going to say his name because I'm friends with him on Facebook, but he was bartending to just get by. And he
Right.
was a cool guy. And now, again, in other countries, hockey is more subsidized by the school or the team. It's not so much their parents are pushing them.
Right.
It's more a communal effort. But
It
yeah,
has to
they
be
were,
'cause it's expensive.
Well, exactly. So I will say, the international aspect of hockey is probably playing into it too.
Okay,
But
that's fair.
I'm done.
Yeah. Anyway, go outside.
So back to comics.
fucking go outside.
Now you talk about sports. so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. All the
Who's our
people,
Pittsburgh fan base?
all the people who were like, "Oh, I really love this comic book podcast."
Yeah, not
20
like
minutes
DVE
about-
where they talk about all that sports bullshit.
We just did talk about sports for a while, but not in the way.
not the way
you
that
know,
DVE.
Yeah, that was
You're usually used to
maybe
hearing.
a little critical of sports. So
We didn't suck no players' dicks.
Jeez.
Shit.
So let's let's get some check-ins here. We got Rough Riders.
Yeah, and I can do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it. These. Did you read these, Greg?
I got 2.
Joe, did you?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Okay.
first of all, let me
skimmed
tell you.
them.
First of all, Rough Riders is from Aftershock, which is a Marvel-owned, not subsidiary, but publisher, a small publisher, part of Marvel. And we actually met the artist, Patrick
Yeah.
Olaf, who took some photos with us at Three Rivers Con.
Three Rivers Con over in
Down at
Century.
Century 3 Mall.
Down Century 3. That was real nice. Patrick Olive, he's a classic guy. He was real
He
nice to
is.
us.
And he might actually be on the show. He
Yeah.
agreed to come on. It's just his schedule. So that'll be really cool.
That'd be cool, yeah.
But back to Rough Riders, just in case you missed it, because I know we breezed over it. Did we get into Teddy Roosevelt has recruited people from the late 1980s
It's
to...
the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen
Yeah,
for
and-
historical figures.
Right.
No, I don't know if it was as late as the 1980s.
I said late 1890s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, flip that.
Yeah. So he's got, and the team is all just like the four horsemen who have commanded him to. So the point is that he has to. Teddy Roosevelt has been drafted by the four horsemen of the apocalypse, which is Carnegie, Morgan, Rockefeller, and Vanderbilt, to tackle the problem, which is the sinking of the USS Maine, which, as I hope you guys know, started the Spanish-American War in Cuba.
Cuba.
Yeah. So he drafted this team of experts, and in the second comic, we meet the rest of them. In the first comic, we met Jack Johnson and Harry Houdini.
We didn't meet Houdini in the first one. We met Jack Johnson and.
Well, you saw Harry
just-
Houdini.
I think you
he was
see him
just
at the
hanging.
very end.
See him at the
You see
end?
Harry Houdini at the
Yeah.
very end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you
Okay.
don't have any dialogue with him until the second issue.
Oh yeah, he is at the very end of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the rest of them are Thomas Edison, Annie Oakley, and Monk Eastman. If you guys don't know, it was a New York mob gangster.
Is Eastman the one he throws over the?
Yes, over the
side?
boat. Yeah.
I wasn't sure who
Yeah.
that was.
And I was just going to say, he assembles the team on the docks.
For some reason, I thought that Eastman was Eastman of Eastman Kodak.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would have been. He's later, 1940s.
That's later, I guess.
Yeah. This is
photography.
1898. So.
Yeah.
But Teddy Roosevelt pulls his little team of extraordinary people, and they're jumped by some thugs, which turns out to be not a frame up, but a setup from Teddy Roosevelt himself to test his team. And it's funny because Harry Houdini pulls this gambit type shit, throwing cards and
Yeah.
slicing people's faces.
Yeah.
But Roosevelt ends up kicking Eastman off the dock, saying he didn't pass the test. He just pushes him off into the water. But issue 3 really gets into the futuristic steampunky stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, Patrick, it's very well drawn.
It is really. Yeah,
I really
do
like the art. I like the palette. But yeah,
I really like Annie Oakley.
she's my favorite character, not just because she's a chick.
Yeah, because she's hard drinking and doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. What is it? Annie Oakley's cut off, and then she pulls the gun on the bartender. No, I'm not, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Must have been nice back in the day where you could just pull a gun on somebody, and if they didn't have a gun, they just did what you said.
yeah.
I guess that's the
kinda-
case now,
yeah, that's
but,
true.
But they wouldn't they couldn't just call the cops. They'd
Yeah.
they'd have to go find the sheriff.
It won't pan out for you.
And the sheriff might just be sitting at the bar being like, "Well, did he shoot you?" And like, "No." And like, well, then what are you complaining about?
I do think about that. Like try to think like the tactics of the old West in a pub. If that were to go down now at like Jack's on Carson or
Yeah.
Oh,
Jax. Maybe Jax, that's just like a day-to-day occurrence.
Maybe on the weekend that could happen.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of whatever parallel that could happen today, and maybe it does. I don't know.
I would think that maybe in some places, like if you're traveling like a highway and you come to like a roadhouse,
Oh,
you know, where the cops might stop in every whatever. Like I
Few
was,
months.
yeah. Well, no, I was at in a town called Thomas, West Virginia, like a couple years ago, and it's on top of a mountain, and they don't have any police. The police have to like come up from the next town on the bottom of the hill. Every who knows when. So everyone in that town just does whatever the fuck they want to do.
It's
They just
martial
drink.
law.
No, they just like drink on the street all the time.
yeah.
Seriously, like every weekend, it's just a bunch of people with bottles of liquor just in the street.
Well, I'd
And
say
it's-
that's applicable to most rural communities
Yeah,
in the United
yeah,
States,
yeah.
too. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, drinking, smoking is pretty much commonplace,
Yeah.
even in younger generations.
Yeah,
so.
and they actually have a little like a tavern type place where I think I told you guys about this. It's called
Yeah,
Purple Fiddle.
You told us about this place.
But they in that kind of place, there could be like a bar fight and then no one would show up. It'd just be like, "Are you guys done?" Or whatever. Like, yeah,
You guys sorted out?
yeah, yeah.
On your own?
Is everyone
Take
satisfied?
that shit outside.
Have you gotten satisfaction, sir? I demand satisfaction. Sorry, where were we?
We were at issue 2 and 3. Actually, yeah, now I'm up to issue 3 of Rough Riders. But so now it's where, up until now it's been kind of historically accurate. We've got, well, not accurate, but so much, but, there's no futuristic, crazy sci-fi stuff yet.
Yeah.
But then in issue 3, all of a sudden, when Annie Oakley's trying to grift a Spanish general, which I believe is supposed to be Arsenio Martez Campos, a real guy, because I was Googling, I'm like, he looks familiar, and it is. She's trying to grift him, figure out what his game is for the Spanish-American War, and she sees like this alien, futuristic, Matrix-type worm peeking out of his ear, and she looks into his eyes, and they're glazed over and red, and clearly it's controlling him. And she, at least what we see is that he shoots her, but we don't know her. Teddy Roosevelt walks in on that.
Well, even earlier than that, we see Teddy goes to Thomas Edison. He's like, "Give me what you've
Your
been
futuristic
working on."
stuff, yeah.
And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Dude, I broke in here yesterday."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude,
Don't
Teddy
pretend
Roosevelt
like I don't
beat
know what
up
the fuck's
Jack
going on.
Johnson in the first issue. It was pretty, he's clearly,
Well, Teddy Roosevelt is a very serious badass.
yeah. Oh, yeah, he really was, too. I mean, God.
Yeah, he's the Batman of the group.
Yeah.
The one thing I will mention, Edison is clearly feeling the effects of age. He's going deaf, although he's very brilliant. And it was weird because, I thought that the authors would kind of use, with all the anti-Edison, modern,
They would
pro-Tesla
use Tesla
stuff, but they
instead?
mentioned Tesla, and
Yeah.
Edison calls him a young upstart or something like that.
I thought you said he was just too weird or something like that.
It could be.
Because Tesla was very, very, very.
Oh,
strange.
he was. I mean, he died emaciated because he couldn't take care of himself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well,
but-
he's a bunch of weird like.
Yeah.
He was obsessed with circles. I think he wouldn't deal with anything that had corners.
Like he only talked to his cat in the later. It was really But
he was played by David Bowie in a movie.
that was okay. I think he did a really good job at that, by the way. The Prestige, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, if they make a movie and you're a historical figure and you're in it, and David Bowie's the one playing you,
Yeah. Then
were
you know
probably
that
a little
you were,
weird.
Yeah,
you
you
were
were
a weird ass
definitely
cat.
Not in a bad way. Just like David Bowie doesn't play like regular dudes.
That is true, yeah.
He doesn't know how to play a regular dude
Yeah.
in real life.
Yeah.
But to close Rough Riders, we meet one last historical figure when Houdini and Jack Johnson are attacked by Spanish army
Jeez,
forces, and they are helped in part by Rasputin on a horse, and they're like, "Hey, thanks," and he goes, "No, you must bow down before me," and that's how it kind of closes. God, and if you guys know anything about Rasputin, that guy was a fucking nutbag.
I know the song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he was
Rah,
a
rah, Rasputin.
Yes.
The Russian queen.
no, I mean he was a spiritual advisor to the Romanov family.
Peter the Great.
Yeah,
He's a
to
Or
the
Peter,
weird
Romanov-
I'm sorry,
motherfucker.
Peter. The Romanov.
Yeah, the Romanov family. It was actually more the wife, and
Yeah.
and he claimed to be able to cure the
son.
the son of hemophilia, and
Yeah.
he would have like spiritual like drug-induced sex orgies in order to get spiritually enlightened. I mean, he was, and he is.
Well, and they based the other Carpathian off of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and they tried to kill him so many. He's been poisoned, shot so many times, and he just did not die.
Yeah.
Poison
Still
shot,
kicking?
stab.
No, kidding.
And finally, in 1895, whenever his head died,
Yeah, death is. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know the whole line. I'm sorry. Vigo the Carpathian. But yeah, that's Rough Riders. I like where it's going. I love the art. I like everything about it. I'm gonna keep reading.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what
pretty
you
cool.
guys think.
It's super fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is.
Annie Oakley's awesome. I
Yeah.
agree with Jared.
Go ahead, comments.
It's fun. Just since you mentioned Rasputin, the thing that I reminded. Did I ever tell you that Ozzy Osbourne was at one point making a musical about Rasputin?
If
my
anyone's
God.
gonna make a
What?
musical
That
about
would be
Rasputin,
amazing.
aside
Yeah,
from
why-
David Bowie, it'd probably be Ozzy Osbourne.
Why don't I
Right.
know about this?
How?
It was, how is a good question, but I mean, evidently it hasn't / will not happen. I don't know.
Was he going to play Rasputin?
No, I don't know. Like
That'd be great.
That would be.
This was like during.
You see Ozzy with the big stupid fake beard on?
Yeah.
Wow, 2005. Osbourne writes musical about Russia's greatest love machine, Rasputin. Wow,
was
rah
gonna
rah Rasputin.
Yeah. I was Rasputin. Jeez.
Was he basing it on that song?
I don't know.
No,
But
I think that was just
kinda-
the
kinda
clickbait
like,
title.
no, he was making new music for it, but
Like Mamma Mia, only with Rasputin.
Oh my god. Well, here's the thing. Like, here's how I heard it. This, and you're right. 2005. I remembered it was from the middle of the first decade of the 2000s, because how it was told. Like, 'cause I heard it from a couple sources at the time, and it was always like, "Hey, did you hear that Ozzy Osbourne's making a musical?" And this is, of course, kind of like a couple years into the Osbournes season.
Yeah, this is 2005,
so
the last article about it.
So people's opinions of him were already not taking him seriously. And then he said, "Well, yeah, it's going to be like everyone was like, oh, it's going to be so stupid because Ozzy's an idiot." And they was like, "Well, no, it's going to be about Rasputin." And he's like, "Oh, really?" And now fast forward in 2006 or 7, I think it was. I was at a seminar with a guy named Steve Dudas, who is one of the like songwriting machines for collaboration for, and this is kind of embarrassing. It should be embarrassing for him, but he he
Like,
writes.
"Oh, sorry, Steve, but fuck you."
Yeah, but he does stuff like he co-writes with Ozzy Osbourne and he co-writes with Aerosmith, who, by the way, didn't need any help on Toys in the Attic or Get Your Wings or Rocks or anything else. So why are they bringing in this hired gun
Yeah.
when they have all 5
Yeah.
original members? Sorry.
Well, if you can get a Bob Rock in there, then you can make a lot of money.
I guess so. Steven Tyler, who writes "Dream On" by himself,
When he's
and then
17.
and and then needs to
Wow,
bring in
really?
a guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was 17,
Damn.
but I knew that was pretty young. Which is funny because, well, whatever. Anyway, this guy Steve Dudas was at the seminar, and somebody asked a question about that, and he said, "Yeah, that is true." He said, "We've gotten as far as whatever." I think he said that they had like 3/4 of it written or something at the time, and he said, "Yeah." He said, "I'll be in a meeting with him. He'll come in and say, I've got this melody that I tried to do with Black Sabbath back in the 70s, and it just never really worked with any band that I've ever had." And I said, "Okay, well, how's it go?" And he goes, and he's like, "All right." And he said, "But,"
It's not written down or anything.
It's not written-
It's just Ozzy humming it.
he just remembers it from
Poorly.
like 25 years ago. Yeah. But or 30, whatever it was. But he said, then I pulled out, then the guy, like I was in the seminar, and he pulls out the CD and said, "But it turned into this." And he put the disc in the CD player, and it was this multi-part choral like thing. It sounded really cool and scary, and it was obviously Ozzy Osbourne singing and like this whole choir behind him, and it was this really well fleshed out, produced thing that's never been released, and that was like 10 years ago. So
The last article I found on it, sorry, I just Googled it, was May 24th, 2007, and the article's entitled "Ozzy Osbourne Struggles with Rasputin Musical. Having written all the songs and gathered some other people, he is still looking for financial backers and a script writer."
that was from what year?
Mid 2007.
I don't understand how you can have a musical, like all the songs written for a musical and no script.
Yeah.
Because the best musicals are, most musicals are, the music has something to do with the story.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Because Greg loves
It
music.
made any fucking sense.
Yeah, well, no, I mean that goes as far. Opera is kind of like that is a musical, and then like they always do the libretto first, which is the story, the plot. They have all that stuff figured out first. Otherwise, you don't have a spine or a blueprint or anything.
Well, you don't even know what kinds of songs are going to be happening throughout the musical. Like you could assemble one from like an existing thing, like fucking American Idiot or whatever. I didn't. Okay, to be fair, I didn't see that.
I have seen it and I don't like it.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know.
But Avenue Q, the first song, which by the way beat Wicked for the Tony in 2004. Just
Yeah.
putting that out there.
Yeah.
A grown-up version of Sesame School puppets that fuck each other and do drugs did beat out Wicked. There you go. But the first song lays out the plot. You know exactly what's going on. Gary Coleman's there.
It's
All
the
right.
overture,
Yeah.
essentially.
So
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne.
I would like to hear the music too.
I would
Rasputin
too, actually.
musical.
Now I'm curious.
Now, I wonder. I've never looked, but I wonder if anybody's leaked any part of it out there.
It's a little YouTube it in between episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Check.
a good idea.
Stay tuned, folks. So yeah.
I just see Ozzy walking to that meeting and just like humming old melodies that are from songs that everyone knows. And they're like, yeah, cool. And then that guy just goes home and writes something completely different.
Yeah.
Like, Ozzy's like, oh yeah, that's perfect.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's exactly right. Ozzy, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I still love you.
So
All right. So okay, we got
Vision.
that's the Vision. Yeah, that one's mine.
I like Vision.
This is still one of the best things that Marvel has been doing
Yeah.
so far. Marvel, if you're listening, do more fucking ridiculous. This isn't ridiculous. I mean, it's all ridiculous. Do more interesting things. This one really. I've said this time and time again. The tone of this thing is it's like this tone of foreboding, where they tell you things, bad things that are going to happen, and so the whole time you're reading this, and it's like a feeling of creeping dread.
Yeah. The first episode is this white picket fence with all the Vision family smiling, and you know, just from the first page, you know it's going to go down.
Yeah, and just all of these. Every issue has something. Sorry, that's like pretty dark. Someone either dies, or you're told someone's going to die, or that someone's going to end the world, or whatever. Against this backdrop of suburbia.
Yep.
It's like a nice, really nice suburban. There's a couple really subtle things. I forget which issue. I think it's the most recent issue where the Vision is. You see him outside his house.
Oh, and isn't
And-
he like watering the plants or something? Or
I forget what he's doing, but as he's outside he's meeting his
brother. Half brother.
But there's a shot from across the street, and you notice from the point of view of the yard across the street, and here it is. It says, it's a nice moment of them laughing together, of their Vision and his brother laughing together, but it's from across the street, past the new for sale sign in the yard across the street. So you're saying like them having a good time, but it says brand new listing
Right.
on this for sale. So the people who live across the street from the Vision are moving because like they're not cool with
Yeah.
what's going on
Yeah.
over there, because like obviously some crazy shit has been happening, and it's all too much for them. So like this slight unease of the whole situation with like the whole neighborhood is like these things are dangerous, and they are, like they certainly are dangerous, because people have died as a result of them, and
Yeah.
I think it's really fucking interesting and awesome. Did you guys all read it?
I've read it.
Yeah.
I just every single person in the family is starting to break down. I mean, Vin is like losing himself in Shakespeare and finding like dread in Shakespearean, history, and then Viv lost her friend.
Yeah, she's obsessed with like the
She's-
death of her.
and
of
you
that
just see
kid she
her
liked.
crying in corners or ripping out yearbook photos of him. And of course, Virginia, the mom, can't contain her secret of killing 3 people.
She's literally malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
she's-
she like stutters like a
yeah,
computer
she
would.
says the same word over and over again. Yeah. That's the most disturbing part to me,
Yeah.
because like she's already murdered somebody, and she's clearly not. She's definitely malfunctioning, and
Yeah.
it's and the people who talk to her, it's almost I'm not, this is probably intentional. They don't mention it at all to her. They don't say, "Are you all right?" or anything like that. They just kind of. It just kind of goes right over there. Vision doesn't say anything about it, and nobody who talks to her says anything about her being like acting even more strangely than normal.
I did like issue 7 was kind of a break because it's a flashback to his relationship with Scarlet Witch,
Right,
because it
and-
had some jokes in it.
Yeah.
He's like, I forget what he said, forgive me, but he said, "Do you need me to repeat that at a louder volume?"
Yeah.
And that's a reoccurring joke
Yeah.
that they have with
yeah,
each
and she
other.
says that back to him, and
And the toaster joke was cute.
yeah, and it just that issue, because you haven't seen the Scarlet Witch except for like one frame, I think,
Yeah.
in this whole series. But in that issue, you get a really great. It just essentially just gives you their whole relationship in one issue, and like throughout the year, it's kind of cool. It's throughout the years of Marvel Comics. So it starts off with them meeting each other, and like throughout the '60s, like all the whole run of the Vision. And it fills you in on all his backstory too. Like he was like Silver Vision for a while.
Right. Well, he
Gives you all
was,
that.
and then he lost himself because he shut down or something, right?
I forget, his original program was lost, and he became the Silver Vision, and then
That's how he lost Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and then I don't know, that issue is really great because it feels like really epic. It's their
Yeah.
whole relationship in one
That's
issue.
been my favorite so far, but then again, yeah.
It's really cool. And if you like Marvel Comics and the Vision and the Scarlet Witch, it's a great little like, wow, I actually forgot about that.
Yeah. Vision and Moon Knight, I really like because they are unlike anything else that Marvel has done, really, especially in the last 5 years, I'd
Yeah.
say. And I love them both.
Yeah.
So-
In the Scarlet Witch centric issue number 7. They, I forgot what I was going to say. I've had some drinks now.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought.
No. What was I going to say? Somebody else say something while I'm thinking.
I thought it was sweet. I liked it.
Oh!
I didn't read it.
I remember. Issue 7 is also the origin story for Virginia,
Right. Oh, yeah.
because the Scarlet Witch gives the Vision. What's this?
It's
a
the
stone?
crystal from.
Yeah, the
yeah.
crystal that has, because his crystal has the Wonder Man's, like, his consciousness, or not his consciousness, but his brain patterns in
Which
it.
is why Scarlet Witch falls
yeah.
for Wonder Man after
Right.
her breakup with Vision.
Exactly. And so at the end of it, she gives Vision a crystal that has her brain patterns in it. And so from that, he creates Virginia.
Virginia.
Oh.
All right. Did we ever find out how Vin and Viv are created? We know how the Sparky the dog was created.
Right. We don't know. They haven't showed us Vin or Viv.
Which, by the way, the letter in the last issue was great because it was like, without further ado, the dog names. And it was like all reader submissions, and then they chose the winner.
What was the winner?
Sparky.
Okay.
Which makes
Sparky.
sense for Vision.
The one at the top was Viking.
Yeah.
I thought
think
that was,
so.
that's a good, like, because there's a lot of
Because they're all
V.
Vs, yeah.
They're all Vs, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sparky
is
also
funny.
makes sense, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the most, I don't know. I've not been disappointed this whole time from any of these issues.
Neither have I.
I'm really enthusiastic about. And when anytime anybody asks me what they should read, I'm like, go fucking pick up the Vision, because it is the best, most unique thing Marvel's been doing in the last year or two.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
How many issues are they on right now?
8.
It's
This
the
is the most
eighth,
recent
yeah.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many are they doing?
I think it's
12?
10 or 12.
Yeah.
So we're getting there.
Cool.
Yeah. But I don't know how this is going to end. It's not going to end well.
No.
Like, it's going to be.
I think Vision's gonna have to like lay waste to some people.
I think he's going to have to kill his own family.
Yeah.
That was my thought,
Yeah.
actually.
Or he's going to have to allow.
At least Virginia.
Or he's just going to have to.
Bless you.
He's going to have to not stop the other heroes from killing his family. Or I don't know, something like that. Because it's going to be bad. And they introduced his
His brother. Victor.
Victor.
Who's spying on him on the part of the Avengers.
Yeah, he's part of the Runaways team.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I don't
Captain
know.
America's there, and
Yeah, I don't know almost anything about the Runaways, but I like Victor because because Ultron created him to earn Vision's the trust of the Avengers and then eventually betray them. Well, not like the Vision. The Vision was initially just meant to destroy them, but he's like he seems like a regular person. He's charming and he's nice and friendly. He has a much better grasp of how to be a human than the rest of them. In fact, here's what I was talking about, him talking to Virginia here, and she's telling him about how because he's playing the piano and he's playing it badly.
That's right,
The notes
yeah.
are all they're like these little music notes, they're all crinkly, implying that's like
Yeah,
he's like bad at the. But she says, like, I downloaded a program to like learn how to play the piano, and she plays, and she's like, well, the problem is that when I play, I am the piano. She has no creativity. She's just
Yeah.
playing exactly what the notes say. So it's a perfect piece. And he's like trying to comfort her, and she's another part like where she says, I am perfect, perfect, perfect. I am the piano. That's a malfunction. He doesn't even really address that she's malfunctioning. I think
No, it does.
he gets the idea though, because he's also a synthezoid. But it's all very like that's a really sad part where they're at the piano, and then here's Vin and Victor playing basketball against each other. It's like a superhuman game of basketball, because you're reading the dialogue, but if you're paying attention to what they're actually doing, it's really funny because they're like.
I like also when
dunking
they play
from-
with the dog because the dog can fetch the ball outside of the window and jump it out. And,
yeah, and here's like Victor shooting from like the other end of the basketball court, and then Vin flying up and like goaltending pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. There's so much to read into in these books. I really like it.
I like the one frame that you pointed out that where the family's in there laughing, having a good time in the frame, but it's the the camera, so to speak's point of view, is the viewer's point of view, is from across the street seeing the sign, and so
Yeah.
it's saying so much with so little. And I was trying to think of like other things that do that, and like it's cool when. That's the neat thing about comics and graphic novels is that, so to speak, a picture is as 1,000 words or worth 1,000 words, and but also I've talked before about like the value of understatement in movie or show dialogue, where we've talked about Walking Dead before. Like one down point of that is where they beat you over the head with some dialogue, and
I'm gonna save that for Surface. Writing it down.
yeah, we'll get to Surface in a
Value of
second.
understatement. Sorry, go on.
But it's funny because the non-human characters of Vision, that was whenever you got to the end, like all the perfect stuff with the piano. I can't remember. Did we ever mention the? It's a few years old now by this point. Did we ever mention the Sarah Connor Chronicles TV show about like the understatement?
None
in
that I've heard.
I don't think so.
But
A
that
few years old, man. That's pretty old.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it ended in 07 or 08, something like that. It was the second season. It was canceled, but
And they didn't give us the fucking future season. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
yeah, the worst cliffhanger. I'm going to go on record and say it was the worst cliffhanger. At the
One
end
of the
season.
worst. Yeah.
But they were pretty good with understatement number one, but also that same. I don't want to say it's the same, but similar theme. If you hadn't watched it, one of the characters on that show, is a major character, is Kyle Reese's brother. Shows up. He also travels back in time and is like another protector of the family, but he's very critical of a Terminator being reprogrammed and being a protector as well, and always saying like, oh, these things will turn on you, like they're not human, like there's something very pure about like the human and what people can do, and these machines can never relate. Always telling John Connor about that. And there's one episode where one of the characters that they come across, like the female Terminator, has to kind of like go and pretend to enroll in a ballet class, and she just
Cameron.
sees Cameron. Yeah, Cameron. But so the character's name's Cameron. But anyway, at the end of the episode, she's just replicating what she saw once at this ballet class, and Brian Austin Green is the one who plays Derek Reese's character's name.
Yeah.
Walks past her room and sees her doing these ballet moves, and she's a Terminator. Sees her doing these ballet moves to perfection, and the actress happens to be a ballet dancer.
Yeah.
And
Which is amazing.
Summer
Yeah.
Glau, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
She did that in Serenity.
Yep.
there is zero dialogue in this scene, but it's like one of the saddest things. And like, this is the kid from 90210, by the way.
He was married to Megan Fox.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
She just had a baby, or she's having a baby. Yeah.
Wonder
Sorry,
whose
go
it
ahead.
is. Anyway, no.
Is
Is it Jerry Bruckheimer? I don't know.
Burn.
God damn, you burned the
Hope
shit
you're
out
not
of her.
listening, Megan.
Brian Austin Green or Jerry Bruckheimer? I don't
Mike-
know.
Michael Bay.
But he turned into a pretty good actor though, because I remember like the scene has zero dialogue, but he's watching through the door, which is ajar, and it just kind of slow zooms in on him, and he just sees the death of his species. Where like the one thing that he thought his species, humans, had over these machines is that they can tap into art and beauty and things like that, and he's seeing this machine do it, and he's just so hurt by it. And that's how the episode ends. I thought, oh god.
Yeah. See, I like that, but on the other hand, like I see how he would be that would be like a hopeless moment for him. But I would think that, like for me, I would say that it's once I don't know, something about being around humans made the machine kind of look and understand how we feel, or like try to emulate how we feel, and like be influenced by the beauty and art of being a person. Because like machines, like we'll say like, okay, so Skynet, the whole reason why it reacts badly is because the humans try to shut it down, and so it just doesn't care. It's like, okay, humans are a threat. That's it. Boom. Like, got to take them out. But if the machines are able to be like, oh well, if I take all these humans out, then I'll lose this thing that I've come to appreciate, like all these beautiful, expressions.
Yes.
I think I find that as a hopeful viewpoint.
It's okay, yeah.
Did you guys watch Caprica at all?
Yeah, I watched
It was
the whole
cut
thing.
short, but
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that aspect in Caprica
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
So
Caprica was good. I
liked
liked
it. I liked
It
it.
was really slow to start out though.
it's very slow.
Yeah.
And I mean, but I ended up really liking it, and they cut it short with really no end.
Yeah.
So-
No, but that show was pretty cool.
It's the
Well-
prequel, by the way, guys, to Battlestar Galactica, if you're not familiar.
Yeah. And that brings us to the old grizzly shark.
Grizzly Greg.
My favorite comic.
Okay,
I'm gonna.
you know what?
No,
Let him have it, Greg.
I'm kidding.
I saw.
Sick 'em.
You say you're kidding, but I was here when you read it. I didn't witness you reading the first one, so I don't know how much or how little you enjoyed it. But I know how much you enjoyed these last two. Because
But do you? Because in the second and third episodes, like the first comic, I'm like, this is so. I cannot read any more of this. But then I get the humor now. I mean, it's not that I didn't before,
Yeah.
but now that it's just whacking you over the head with like Three Stooges almost, but with violence, it's funny. I
Yeah.
will give it that.
well, welcome. I'm glad to have you here.
Welcome to the club. So, Greg, would you like to explain the plot of Grizzly Shark?
Yeah. So, this is going to be difficult. No, no, it's so I'm sure that you guys heard on the last episode that we talked about it. Anyway, it's a predator, lives in the woods, but it happens to be a shark, even though it lives in the woods. No real need for explanation about how it gets around or survives out of water. So,
Oh, we get to that too.
Yeah, we will get to that. Yeah.
At the end,
At the very end.
Sorry.
oh yeah,
keep
yeah.
going.
So okay, so it's I guess you could call it a character study because you never really see it from the shark's point of view. Just like, The Walking Dead isn't so much about the zombies, it's about the people and their reactions to them.
Right, exactly.
So this is how different people react to the shark or the threat of not just one shark, but an epidemic of grizzly sharks in the woods. They thought that they had the one beat from the first episode, but no, there are more. And by the end of the second episode, you see there's more than just two. There's a bunch. So, this is my one disappointment so far is that it's from the second to the third episode. There's like that classic cliffhanger moment, like, oh man, we're totally effed. And then in the first page or two of the third issue, it's like, oh well, we averted that. So it's
It's a Deus Ex Machina at the beginning of a story, which
Yeah.
is real. Like what?
It reminded me of like from one chapter to the next of the Goosebumps stories.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Where it's
yeah.
like, oh, I opened the closet door and then this beast came out at my face. And then at the beginning of this, all you have to do is just read the first sentence of the next chapter. Oh, Joey, it's like his little
It was
brother.
just
or
a
something.
dog.
Yeah, the dog.
Yeah, it was just the dog.
So if you ever wanted to, not have nightmares whenever you go to sleep, just read the first sentence of the
Oh
next
yeah.
chapter and you're good.
And get all the jokes. Just they're like dad jokes, but about violence. Like
Yeah,
a guy
yeah.
loses his legs completely, and then he's like, walk over here, and the guy's like looking at him. Get out of the car. Step out of the car. And then and the legless guy's just looking at him, and oh my god.
Just go ahead and try and kick my ass. And
Yeah, exactly.
His whole lower half's missing. And
I
he's
do like when they tie up his pants or whatever and put shoes on
He's
it.
like, I have legs now. The
Yeah.
doctor gave me legs.
And one of them's kind of like crooked, the foot. Like it's just like they're not legs at all.
But so that guy that was being an asshole to that kid who's missing his entire lower half just just gets peed on straight from the kid's bladder.
Yeah, it like comes out of his just meat entrails.
That's the same guy whose hands gets bitten off, right?
Yeah.
That was wonderful. And then whatever, the shark eats the scientist lady, and then they're driving away, and the guy without hands is trying to. He's like, "Wait for me!" And he's like, "No, it's your fault that she's dead, and if all you had to do was not touch her face with your nubs, and this is your fault." It was really, I don't know, so stupid and ridiculous. I laughed. I liked it.
I'll say that there is not a wasted line of dialogue in here. That's one thing
Yeah,
that
that's true.
no critic can ever disagree with. That is that every word that's written in this series so far is meant to have some effect, whether it's to progress the story or
Wow.
or to like incite some kind of a reaction of joy out of it.
I particularly like the Twitter handle of. I pointed this out to you.
yeah.
So where's that comic?
I think it's at the
See
beginning
there?
of the third.
Okay, yeah, it's the beginning of this one. So it's someone tweeting. It's two idiots tweeting to each other, not even to each other, but tweeting about each other, and the
While
guy's-
driving.
This idiot's Twitter handle. First of all, his name on Twitter is Rowdy Kevin Lady Rowdy Kevin Lady Lover 2000. But then it's his like handle, his Twitter, actually,
his
his address,
handle, yeah.
his is Kevin is revving for your bod. So
Yeah.
he's such a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He has two different screen names that aren't his name.
Doesn't he say girls without makeup look weird? Huh?
Girls look so dumb without makeup. Am I
Yeah.
right, guys? LOL. Hashtag stupid girls. Hashtag FML. And then he is immediately killed by crashing into a rock. That's for some reason
In the middle.
the middle of it. Oh, you know what?
Oh, it's the one
It's the
that-
rock from the previous issue.
where it
I
felt.
just realized that.
Yeah. So see the plot.
You better put some long pants on if you're going to go out there. Watch out for them ticks.
You're on a
I'm not
podcast
joking.
now.
Oh Christ!
Sorry.
Wow, that was some Pittsburgh
was,
shit right there. Oh.
That was Jared
Usually
addressing.
Don Geely, but Jared and I are bringing.
Well, he's not here, so I have to cover
Yeah,
for him.
we have
Yeah,
to
that
do
was
the
just
answer.
the butler outside.
Yeah.
So
Can I see number?
Yeah,
three?
yeah.
yeah, so that was you're right. That was the rock from the previous encounter.
Yeah.
And so the plot is tight on this.
It is. It's
Um,
real tight. Yeah,
you know,
I
It
actually
is.
just got that reference. I didn't realize that until just now.
Yeah, and plot points being what they are, like it's well crafted. Like the sequence of events have to be. And I shouldn't put it down so much just because. Only reason why I compared it to Goosebumps was because it happened to be at the end of one episode, at the end of one issue to the beginning of the next, where like there's a setup and then a resolution, where it's still pretty well. It's still pretty rewarding because that. The problem is they're in the middle of the long grass. Don't go in the long grass. And you see all these shark fins heading their direction. And you're like, oh, how are they going to get out of this? And at the beginning of the next episode, there's a bus. Oh,
A bus crash.
Oh, that same crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the same two cars that crashed into this rock, these two idiots that are posting on Instagram or whatever, they crashed into this rock. And there's a bus driver who's reading this text from some lady friend. Who's like, oh, don't read this while driving because I know how slowly you read. And it's like,
She was thinking about 9/11. That was weird.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just an example of how stupid all the people in this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing are.
yeah, there's not a single smart character in this whole thing.
No.
But we can look at them from a distance, and
That's one of my favorite parts about this. It's like every single person in this whole thing is dumb.
yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
It's just-
Except for, by the way, the bear. The bear is awesome.
Oh man, the bear is fucking awesome.
The bear that faces off
bear.
with the shark. Sea bear. He's pretty cool.
the fight, the
Yeah,
sea bear
the fight between the bear and the shark.
is great.
How that conflict gets spoiler for those of you who have read issue 2 but not yet read issue 3. That bus crashes. It like sideswipes the rock. All of the people come just
a splash page of-
are launched out of the side windows of the thing. So every single one of those sharks that were facing down on the main characters turn around, go up and like jump up in midair and eat these people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a great splash page.
It is
Yeah.
a great. Here it is.
Yeah, there
Yes.
it is. Bam, right
And it's
there.
like taking place at dusk, and it's
yeah.
Oh yeah, if you like violence and blood on splash pages, then that's
along with really terrible dad-like jokes. Then you're gonna love this comic.
oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I found myself laughing more and more as I read. the
I,
second and third
I
ones.
hate to admit it, but I am too. God damn it.
Another, I love hearing.
I can't wait to hear here's what we're going to do. After we're done recording this, we're going to let, whenever the Dans come here, we're going to let them listen to that part of this, and then they can respond. Because I want to hear Don Gilly's.
It'll be the very next
And
episode.
I want
yeah.
Daniel because Daniel doesn't like this either. He didn't like
Right.
issue 1, and I don't think he's read issue 2 or 3.
Okay.
It won't take him long. The other thing, the value of this, and this is unique, I think, to Grizzly Shark more than others, is that is it's a as we have discovered, it is a good palate cleanser. If you
It is.
if
Yeah.
you've read
Yeah.
one comic and you're like, oh gosh, that's what am I doing? Surface, oh my god, and you're not sure what to make of that or whether you're going to finish it someday or ever, then you just put that down, pick up Grizzly Shark, and then you just feel right as rain again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And they're all just incredibly happy or just over the top. Like her hyperbole is used to the max here. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, you don't got any feet. Haha, I totally don't. It's terrible. And they're laughing about it. You're just, oh my God.
It's so dumb, but great.
Oh, it's funny. It is funny, I'll admit.
Yeah.
God.
You don't undersell it, okay? We both witnessed you laughing out loud while you
Yeah.
were reading that.
I said I hate to admit it, but I found it funny. It is fun, and you're right. It's a palate cleanser, especially after reading Surface. But I say this without Don Geely being here, so it's kind of unfair.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. We gotta let Dan get his licks in on that
Yeah.
one too.
yeah.
So, oh yeah. one of our listeners, Ben, asked us about recommendations for sci-fi/fantasy things.
Right. Yeah, Ben, you asked us, and we I think the one thing that we came up with Saga and Empress, I think we said, but having now reread the entire series, I think the best book for you is East of West. I think that's perfect for what he likes. He likes, he said he liked Game of Thrones and Firefly, and I think he might have said Battlestar Galactica or Sliders or that whole sci-fi genre. East of West is perfect
Well,
for him.
everybody should like Sliders. Sliders is
Oh
fucking
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Oh, he likes Farscape too. I remember that.
Yeah,
I like
Farscape's
Farscape.
amazing.
But no, East of West is perfect. Even though it's post-apocalyptic, it's completely different from any. I think I mentioned in one episode, I'm really tired of post-apocalyptic crap, but this is so well done. I mean, there's different cultures. There's some steampunky aspects to it. It's sci-fi. I think you'll like it.
I need to buy the whole run because I like the first issue. I need to read more.
Yeah.
There was more a couple more things. What was it? I think I might have actually told Ben this in person, but the Prydain Chronicles, which are yes, I'm getting the okay from Monkey over there. The Prydain Chronicles are one of the greatest fantasy series ever written. It's and the reading level is probably junior high, maybe, I don't know, something like that. But the reading level does not translate to the quality of the story, because the story is amazing. It's essentially the story of how an assistant pig keeper, Taryn, it's a medieval setting, and how he is kind of thrust into the wider world, and how he becomes makes a bunch of mistakes, kind of, but he grows up into being like a really decent individual, and some of the I don't know, it's by Lord Alexander, and Alexander has a really great grasp of the kind of bittersweetness of growing up, and like the sense of like gaining stuff, but also losing like innocence, and losing like magic, really, like, because when you're a kid, things seem magical because you just don't know any better.
Right.
But as you start to grow and learn things, the magic disappears, but you're probably better for it. But there's still that sense of like you lost the wonder of how you used to feel. So this series encapsulates all of that. Especially the fourth book is one of the greatest. Yeah, it is one of the greatest coming of age kind of thing. And another great thing is that you have 3 books with this character before he actually kind of comes of age and becomes goes from being a kid to being an adult. In the fourth book, it's just there's no like huge threat to the world. There's no big enemy he has to defeat. It's just a journey, like him journeying to try and find out who he is, and it is unbelievably good. And then in the fifth book, the end of it is one of the most heartbreaking decisions any character has ever had to make that I've ever read about. So I think not only should Ben read this, all of you guys should read this too. In fact, maybe we should even talk about this in the podcast because it's fucking unbelievable. So Ben, read that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But East of West, you know what? This is a question that we forgot about, and we said we readdressed, but we wanted everyone here. Someone asked us each to rate our top 5 favorites. We should do that, but I'd like to hear the Dan's.
Oh yeah. That was
So we will do
Chris.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Chris that asked us that.
We never
but-
answered that one.
Yeah, no, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's that's like a whole segment though.
Right.
We need
No,
to do
that's true.
Plan
Maybe
out a
even
whole
a
segment
special.
for that.
But I mean, East of West is up there for me. I'm not sure if it's
Okay. Okay.
It's very good.
Oh, and we totally didn't go to the. Would you want to? Let's do the toy research thing. You want to do that
Yeah,
now,
sure.
Becky?
I can do it.
All right.
Unless you want to wait for the Dan's, it's up to you.
So in was it the last episode we talked about?
It was about
this?
2 episodes ago, I think.
Yeah, we talked about how there's women are underrepresented in the toys that are related to the things we usually talk about, comics, movies, stuff like that. And so there are far fewer. We kind of just were wildly speculating about that there are way less females represented in like superhero stuff and whatever. And Becky had the time to do the research and went to a few stores. So
I did.
yeah, why don't you?
I
tell
went
us?
to Target and Walmart, as well as their online websites and their stores. And because frankly, I normally don't buy into a lot of the sexist arguments in today's society. I think, but I mean, and being a female, that being said, remember I told you I never felt, ostracized or exploited, because I was a female comic book fan or anything like that until I, met that douchebag at Steel City Con.
Yeah.
But
By and large, though, it's
yeah,
all
he's
right.
the exception to the rule. I've always, in tabletop gaming is a whole different ball of wax. But so I went to Target, and Target was pretty easy. And by the way, guys, I used to be an academic. I used to do data sets of thousands and millions, so counting a couple hundred toys was pretty easy. And yeah, it looks like I put work into it, but I didn't. I went to Target, and they have like an action figures aisle. And so at Target in the aisle for Star Wars, they had 77 total Star Wars toys. And by the way, I only mentioned Star Wars because right now it's, at least for now, it's outnumbering comic book toys because of how big Disney and Hasbro had, like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have control of the toy market, and so it outnumbers, comic book toys as big as like Civil War was, like 3-1.
I'm sure.
So
It's also Star Wars. I mean,
yeah, Star Wars.
It's been around
It's
for
epic.
so long, and it's
Right.
yeah, it's this thing that everyone in the entire world knows. Jared has some
Except for
thoughts.
Spider-Man and Civil War. Civil War, Captain America.
Well, I actually touched upon that
Dumb
one.
bullshit.
So at Target in the actual aisles, there were 77 total Star Wars toys, and I'm excluding things like plates and backpacks and
Right,
things.
that's-
I'm
yeah.
saying I basically, and I did this in all of my research. So if it was something that a child could play with, I counted it as a toy.
Right.
So 77 toys at Target for Star Wars, and only 4 of them even had a female on the package, and that's how low my bar was.
Well,
Four.
if you got like a slow kid, he might play with the plates and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know, probably
3.08% at
Or-
Target.
Or if your family doesn't have a lot of money,
Oh.
Yeah.
they give them plates with the characters on them.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
No, that's
Yeah.
not.
But
That's shitty of me to say. Sorry.
But I went to their online store just to see, because if you read there was a lot of outrage, I want to say, in December and January after the movie came out, because Rey is the main character.
She's definitely the main
And she's
character.
kick-ass and awesome. And they, the fans, male and female, complained, there was a big hashtag movement, where's Rey? And Hasbro released a statement, in the past, we've seen that boys don't want to play with female character toys. Well, now Star Wars
First
is in
of
the
all-
main pop culture media, and your main character is a female.
Yeah, it's like first of all, you've clearly never met little kids before because like little boys are always, I mean, they're curious about women, like people who have different parts than them, so they're going to be doing all kinds of nasty shit with their
Oh
with
yeah,
their
you-
action figures. Like
You take the clothes off the Barbie to see what it is that's underneath. you know?
yeah, that's the first thing that you, as a little kid, if you either, I mean, maybe if you have somebody who, if there are Barbies in your vicinity, you obviously are going to undress them and see what's going on, and then probably make them do dirty things to each other, even if you're not even really sure what those things are. You just do, that's what. So anyway,
Yeah.
little kids would definitely take their little Rey action figure and their little Poe Dameron or their little fucking Finn
Yeah.
action figure, and just like bump them together. And,
Because every kid does that.
yeah, every kid does that.
And there was a lot of BB-8 stuff, but no Rey.
And
Well-
if they feel that like, well, in the past the kids just don't buy female toys, maybe you shouldn't have agreed in some kind of major multi-million-dollar deal to make toys for a movie whose main character is a female.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
But
Yeah, well, yeah. I feel like that cast J.J. Abrams in a good light. So that he was
Yeah,
writing a story
but
or helping to
Hasbro
write a
in a bad
story
light.
that he didn't care. Like he was like, my main character is a female, and you guys can fuck with your toys later. So I can appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
BB-8 is adorable, and
I love BB-8.
Yeah, I can't.
Don't get me wrong.
but that's
just-
like one of Jared's favorite things in the whole world. is-
Yeah.
But I mean, just to respond, Hasbro promised more Rey items after the backlash that they faced. But then I went online thinking there'd be more items available. But out of 500, this is Target still, by the way. Out of 507 Star Wars toys, keep in mind that I excluded all that like beach towels and stuff like that. Only 18 featured a female character at all, and not one of them was Rey by herself.
Huh.
And it's weird. I think I sent this long-winded little report to the rest of the humans just because I thought it's so funny, because I took pictures of everything I researched. The thumbnail just for all Star Wars items at the Target online web store is just Ray, and you can't buy her. So I thought that was kind of funny.
They probably did that thumbnail because they knew that they were fucking up. They're like, well, if we make the umbrella thumbnail for all this stuff her, then no one can really say shit to us. 'Cause,
Yeah.
hey, we tried.
Because we tried.
I will say that the comic book aisle, they have a comic book aisle, and it's all splashed together. Unlike Toys R Us, which I'll get to, which has a Marvel aisle and a DC aisle.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been to Toys R Us in a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Dude,
and
go
aisle
to Toys R Us.
specifically?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because I remember when we were kids, like, you just go to Toys R Us, and Toys R Us was literally just a warehouse with toys in it. And so you
Yeah.
had those, like, industrial size aisles where you could probably, if I could, as an adult, I could probably stand two of me with my arms outstretched and not touch fingertips.
Yeah.
Because those aisles, or maybe I'm just remembering because I was small at the time.
They're big aisles.
Yeah,
but
they're huge.
pretty big aisles, I think.
They're tall. Yeah, there's many
By the way,
shelves.
this is both the Monroeville Target and the Monroeville Toys R Us that I went to do this
Right.
stuff. But I also went to the online stores to kind of round it out.
Right, but well, I was just gonna say,
Sorry.
I can't imagine, like, because I remember when I was a kid, there was one aisle that had action figures in it. Just
Oh no, there's dozens.
yeah,
right
that's
now.
man, that's. I wish I could go back in time and just like wander through that old that Toys R Us back in the day. That would be so much fun.
Well, that and you could probably say, if you, with the knowledge that you have now, go back and say, I know this one's going to be worth money.
Oh yeah, buy all the ones that are. Oh yeah. Well, let's not talk that way. I would go back to the '60s and buy every comic book ever and just
Yeah.
put them in a
yeah.
vault.
A clean
But
room. Yeah.
oh yeah. And this is completely off topic as well, but remember the video game aisles? They didn't have the actual video games in. They had those little tickets you had to take.
Oh,
to the,
that's right.
You
I
had to
do
take it to the
remember that,
register
yeah.
and pay at the register, and then you had to take the paid slip to the little like fucking like bulletproof room that they had all the video games in. Remember that?
I mean,
I
they
did-
still kind of
yeah.
have that at Walmart. You have to buy the electronics in the back. You can't
Yeah.
take it to the front because they have the security on them, and they have to go to the room.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But I know what you mean. Yeah.
And Toys R Us, because Toys R Us
R
was
Us.
right next to the exit. Like, it was
Right.
like
Yeah.
a especially the
And it still
Monroeville one.
is. It still is.
Is it really?
The electronic and the video games
Oh
are still
no,
on the right
I know where
towards
that
the
is.
exit.
Yeah. But it was like this weird like little like bunker that like that one of the employees had to just sit in there all day. And I remember being like really dark. Maybe I could be misremembering, but I remember that whole store being like really dark. But that was like the fucking like high security area where they had like a little window and you just give them the slip and they would like go find the video game and like give it to you. And
Yeah.
As a little kid.
Yeah.
I mean, our family didn't have in fact, my mom made it a point I had to save up money she would never buy me a video game. I had to save up my money to buy a video game. So every time I was getting a video game, it was a big fucking deal. So that shit was like $70 in the 90s.
We always bought them secondhand.
Oh, yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
No, I would buy that shit like brand new from Toys R Us. And I mean, I guess $70 back in the day. What's it, like $150 now?
Yeah.
Was it
And especially for
70 at the
kids.
time?
Oh yeah,
I thought-
yeah. No, new video games were $70.
I always remember
everything
them
was
being like
70.
50, I thought. Like, it's only...
no.
50, 60, 70. They range different. If you look at old comic books, they have ads in them sometimes.
Right.
Oh yeah, because we
Right.
were talking about how
They-
Mario
they range a
Missing
little
was
bit.
really
Oh.
expensive.
70,
even though it was
70
the
is
shittiest.
pretty high, though.
No, for the early 90s, no. I remember Mortal
Maybe
Kombat
it was because Toys R Us, maybe because you bought it from there.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure that, but
Yeah.
like in
Mario's
the early
Missing
90s,
was like
It was
fucking.
really
It was like
expensive.
the highest one in there.
I'd say okay, pre 1995, video games were anywhere from $59.99 to $69 or $79.99.
Okay.
There were a couple of games that were $80.
I think right now, what is the norm? $59.99.
I'd say 59.
Yeah,
Or
$59.
$49.99 for.
I think it's
depending on how long.
$59.99 is like the norm.
Yeah, like $60 for.
Yeah, $60.
Maybe I was just buying it. Like, when I was buying video games, I always saw them for $50.
I mean,
and
that's because they were like ColecoVision or whatever the fuck it was you had.
oh, no.
All the Commodore games were a little cheaper.
When I was playing Commodore games, I was too young to be like buying games myself, so I don't actually know what those cost or where my.
I don't
my
think they sold
mom
them
got
then
from.
either when you were getting.
That's probably true.
'Cause that system was
it was already out.
definitely
for
a hand-me-down older.
No,
That
that's
system's
not
older
true.
than you, right?
No, because I played The Last Ninja when I was that game came out in 1987, and I was playing that since like as far as
In
back as I
'87,
can-
how old were you then? You
3.
barely had motor skills then.
I know. We're the
What's-
same age. Exactly.
Yeah, right. But what's you didn't play video games when you were
I'm
3?
talking about buying them though. Like, you know what I mean? Like to be aware of like the price.
That's what I just said. I said I didn't buy them for Commodore 64 because I did not have a job because I was not even out of kindergarten or anything.
That's not what I meant.
You're
at
holding
all.
me to a very high standard here.
No.
What kind, I mean, I know.
Greg, you're 3 already. Okay, you need to get a job.
What 3?
You
You
need to
were
buy
like
your own video
beating
games.
video games.
Gosh. So what I was going to say is that when it was on my radar to buy video games, when I was like looking at, Because I was getting Nintendo when other people were getting PlayStation. So, like, those games, yeah, I bought secondhand for a few bucks a piece. When I got PlayStation, though, and I remember getting my first couple of games at David Weiss, and that
I
was...
don't even know what that is.
It's so nice to shop at David Weiss. That one.
Holy shit.
So,
God damn, where was David Weiss?
it was like I don't know.
Or is that? I don't remember where
I don't remember where it was. I remember being in the store, but I remember they sold like housewares, but they also had like video games. It's like a Kmart, I guess.
Okay. It's one of those places like that's lost in the depths of your memory, and like you don't know exactly where it was or anything.
Sort of,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if it
It's
really
like a legendary-
existed. Yeah.
It's like a legendary place. Yeah.
Sort of, yeah, I guess. I mean, like I remember they had like not a very big end cap of PlayStation games, and I picked out my first, I think, like 3 or 4 games there. They were each $50, and but it was like my that was like my big Christmas thing was that I don't know if they were each whatever. Anyway, it was like a combined thing that year. But long story short, I remember looking around at the other parts of the store and seeing like chandeliers and stuff. Thinking like, who'd be interested in this bullshit? I don't know, because I was in like 8th grade or something, 7th, 8th grade. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun. Yeah, I got. They did a similar thing though with the ticket, and then like I had to wait for the game to come out of like some conveyor belt from the back or something, and it's like, oh, I've got
It's
Resident
a
Evil
weird
2.
ritual.
Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, back to the report, Becky.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
you were
sorry.
talking about
So
women.
we're still at Target, and they have like a combined action figure. And by the way, they have one aisle, and it also includes like WWE and other stuff like that. But out of 60 available comic book toys, and I counted them, even empty tags, and I kind of looked at their product, what it was.
Yeah.
Out of 60 available toys, there were only 2 females at all, and neither of them had any solitary figures. Oh, that's not true. So one was Black Widow.
This is Star Wars. Or,
This is the combined comic book aisle at Target.
okay.
So 60 toys. Only 2 of them were females. One was the Black Widow as part of that's Tony Stark's side
I
in
remember
Civil
that,
War.
yeah.
The other, and what bothered me about that was that there were individual figures of even minor characters. So not so much minor, but you got Captain. You had individual figures of Tony Stark,
Tony Stank, I believe.
Vision. Black Panther. That's cool, but not one of I mean, Scarlet Witch. Well, again, I just for
There's a reason for this.
there's a
Scarlet
reason
Witch.
why Scarlet Witch and Spidey weren't in, and it's for intellectual property reasons. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But still, no solitary figure of Black Widow.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one solo figure that I saw of a female at Target was from Batman vs. Superman. It was Wonder Woman. And I should post this on our Facebook or Instagram because it's clearly a male's body and a male head. Like, it looks like Wonder Woman in really, really bad drag. And I sent you guys a picture. I mean, it's terrible.
It looks like John
Let me see it.
Barrowman
Make
dressed
it
as
big.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just yeah, you can, that's definitely a dude's face.
Did you hear that, Becky?
What? Sorry.
He said it looks like John Barrowman dressed as.
Whoa, it does.
I see this.
That's pretty sad. But yeah, so that's another 3% of toys. But and thinking that maybe this was just a bad, that they didn't have that many products to choose from, I went to Toys R Us, and I'll keep it concise, but I will say that Star Wars had 8 aisles dedicated to Star Wars, and
There's
that
8
makes sense.
aisles of Star Wars.
8 aisles.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
These kids today are spoiled, man. I remember there was.
These adults,
So-
that's who's really buying all this shit.
Now, there's a lot of stuff, but again, I excluded things like adult costumes, pet stuff, party flatware, and a pair of barbecue tongs that was Kylo Ren themed. I sent a picture
Wow.
of that, and I
Let me
wrote,
see 'em.
"Hope you like your meat dark."
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
so they had 205 total Star Wars toys.
How's that Kylo Ren thing? There's no crossbar on that lightsaber.
Yeah, I know. It just says Kylo Ren themed.
That's just a goddamn money grab, is what that is.
Because it's got a red sheath to it or something.
Oh, you should have seen.
I
the
do
stuff
kind of
they
like
had.
those, though.
Yeah.
Those would be cool to have. As a grill. Like some lightsaber tongs.
Yeah.
Only if
They're
the
kinda
tongs
cool.
themselves lit up.
Yeah.
Those are
Oh, I think they do. I think
What?
that was the whole point. Although it's rated very.
He's like,
poorly.
oh, now I gotta
It's
buy
like 2 out
them.
of 5 stars.
Jared knows what he wants for his birthday.
But anyway, 205 Star Wars toys, and this is in the actual store, Toys R Us Monroeville. 20 items featured a female, at least one on the packaging. I remember telling you, low bar. They might not even have a female like toy in the packaging, but as long as they were featured on the outside somewhere, I counted it. Like
Fair.
Phasma or Rey,
Right.
usually.
Phasma's not even a fucking character again.
Yeah, I know. So, but I asked an employee, I'm like, is there any more? He said, there's triple the amount of stuff online. So I went online, and you can actually, this is what I thought was interesting. You can filter
Boys and
Star
girls.
Wars, and then girls and boys. And then it said 246 products are made for girls. And I'm like, wow, that's great. That's more, it's a little less than half. No, not bad. But then when I actually looked at the items, there was asexual stuff like lightsabers, board and video games, beach balls. But then there was paper plates, which, by the way, were only in the girls, because bitches belong in the kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Get them young, train them young.
But then there were also
Oh,
solitary figures like Yoda and Kylo Ren. So I just completely ignored the girl and boy features and did my own. So I filtered out, again, the adult stuff, and that brought the number down to 686 total things. And 110 featured at least one female character, which is a more respectable 16%. And I finally found a single Rey figurine, but she's not available for purchase anywhere.
Jesus Christ.
So,
So
and if-
what you're saying is I need to go on eBay and get myself a reaction figure. And keep
yeah,
it.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I asked
Hey.
the question, why is there such a jump? Because Lego.
Now, as you know, Jared, eBay, the value of eBay items isn't based solely on how rare it is. It's also based on demand, which is
Yeah.
where your plan falls short.
Yep.
Because nobody gives it. No, I'm saying.
'Cause nobody wants them shitty girl toys.
Yeah. But so Lego has a lot of diversity, not just by gender, but also by race, which I thought was really cool. Maybe it's because Lego's based in Denmark. I don't know. But any toy that was asexual that featured a child using it for scale purposes was always a boy. Every single one of them. I think there was like 20 or 30 of them. But and tell you what, just to skip over to it, so they had like 3 Marvel aisles and 2 DC aisles,
Damn.
and they weren't much better. So yeah, it was pretty bad. So to average all of, I don't want to drone on, but maybe like I'll put something on our Facebook page. The average of all the female representation, counting Target, Toys R Us, and Walmart online, was less than 10%, 9.45%.
So I'm on eBay right now and I'm seeing there are only like, I don't know, 4 different Rey figures, like on eBay.
Better get yourself a Ray.
No, I don't mean 4 lots. I mean 4 like just variety. Like there's
Right.
like two or like the ones that are this size, the regular size action figures. There's like there's a tall one, like a 12-inch one, and then there's like a small her on the speeder bike. Oh, and then there's a Black Series one too.
Yeah.
But
Don't have
they,
any.
they don't even make. Okay, and then there's one of those stupid pop Funko things.
the pop, I found a lot of females, but then again,
Yeah, well,
they make everything.
There's you can't base anything on that.
So
there's like fucking pops of goddamn Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
No life size Ray. I mean, like maybe go to different sites.
No, there
to
aren't.
find- no, okay.
Because I met that little girl playing with the life-size Chewbacca, Kylo Ren, and there was no Rey.
With realistic holes.
That's right.
There probably is one of those. But yeah, no, it was very blatant. I mean, the gender bias in this little study that I did was incredibly blatant, and probably best exemplified by the only female. Keep in mind, again, low bar. I was looking for solitary female figures, and again, I found a Wonder Woman solitary figure in Toys R Us too, not the drag queen one, but still looked like a drag queen, just a little bit better drag queen. But I found these individual figures, and I talked to you guys about this before, and it was a like Spider Girl, and I think there's like 3 other single female Marvel characters. I don't have them in front of me, but they came with a body part for a villain. It was Red Skull and then Green Goblin. And even though you might just get a foot of Red Skull or the torso of Green Goblin, and nowhere on the package, even though Spider-Girl's there and full figured, is her name mentioned on the package.
Wow.
And that goes the same with all of the other female solitary figures.
I forgot to ask you this earlier. Are there
You buy-
Oh, the other two I found,
male
sorry.
figures in the same
Sharon-
series?
No, there weren't.
Okay, those are just
Just
females?
females with a male body part. And the other two,
I
by the way, I
love that.
found
Man,
I
that's-
love that.
Monkey.
Red Skull's foot comes with Spider Woman.
holy shit, that's
Wait,
like
wait.
really offensive.
Yeah.
Actually, you want to know the actual thing? So Red Skull's foot comes with Sharon Carter.
Oh, nice.
His torso comes with Mockingbird.
Wow.
Oh.
But none of them are mentioned on the package or even on the online product description.
I didn't realize that. I just thought that there were just action figures. I didn't know they were all female action figures
Yeah.
in that series.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's what made it so much worse.
Wow, that's way worse.
But I kind of wish Dan
Man.
Daniel was here because he said that he went to physically went to Walmart
Yeah.
and he saw like a female line of just female action figures, and I said I didn't get a chance to. I hate going to Walmart, so
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't included. But I'm glad that was there. He has a daughter and he loves comics,
Right.
so
There also shouldn't have to be a specific female line. It's just like
Yeah.
the regular line should just have half and half or whatever. Like,
Some in there.
I just
at
don't.
least,
Yeah, I don't
but-
understand. Because I'm thinking back to when I was a kid and thinking like I used to love X-Men action figures.
those
and
were my
I thought
favorite.
I remember thinking to myself, one time I think I went to Hills and I saw they had
Hills.
one time I went down Hills
Shit.
and they but they had the X-Men action figures. They had a Rogue, and I was like, holy shit. I think I tried to convince my mom to buy it.
Yeah.
But I don't think she did. But Rogue was like, I'd never seen that figure before.
Yeah.
Because they like I don't know if it's because they made less of the female figures or that's just a rarer figure. Because like sometimes, as we know, back in the day, and they still do this sometimes,
yeah.
but on the back of the package, you see all the figures you can get.
Right.
Because they want kids to look at the back of the package and be like, oh my god, I want that.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Rogue. I never saw her in the store, like ever. But then one time I was like, holy shit, that's an actual
back,
Rogue action
yeah.
figure. Yeah. And as a little boy, I was excited to try and get that Rogue action figure because, like, A, I'd never seen it before, and like, B, it's a cool looking figure. Like the figure is actually really awesome looking.
Yeah.
But her being a female had nothing to do with it. It was like I want all the X-Men.
Yeah.
B, I want to like use the Rogue and the Gambit figures just to bump
Right.
them together.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I would be
Missing
like,
out on bumping
oh,
together action, Hasbro.
like, oh, come on, Monsieur. And she's like, no, Gambit, you can't do that.
oh,
He's got that New Orleans accent.
Right.
they drew her well proportioned. I mean, that's true.
Also, she had big boobs.
Yeah.
That was
She did.
awesome.
Oh,
I
she
want
was
to have
very
a figure.
voluptuous, yeah.
I want to have an action figure with big old boobs on her. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
multiple reasons why, as a little boy, I wanted that fucking Rogue action figure, and it's ridiculous not to have female figures in action figure series.
And despite the
Hasbro.
outcry and demand,
Yeah.
Hasbro still hasn't made any moves, like real concrete moves. Now, again, two reasons why I have hope after this little academic study that I did. One is Lego. Good for them.
Hmm.
Both racial, and gender diversity. All they're missing is a fucking kid in a wheelchair.
Lego? No, there's a kid in a wheelchair.
In Lego?
Yeah,
No, wait,
there's-
in the Star Wars. I meant,
Oh,
I
in
was being,
Star Wars.
yeah, I was
Oh,
joking.
okay. No, but
I
there
think
are-
I wrote
there
down
are
it's the
Lego.
cast of Zoom grew up and joined the dark side was what I commented.
No, but there are Lego figures in wheelchairs.
No, that I know. I was
Yeah.
just,
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, there is no wheelchair bound
Star Wars character.
Star Wars character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait.
there's.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Let me think give me a second on that one. I'm thinking,
I was just gonna say there's
There
some
might be.
Maybe
assholes in
there is.
Spaceballs.
No, there might be.
So Spaceball 1. They might be some, developmentally disabled, but
But yeah, there's no reason not to have.
yeah.
I was about Lego. I was gonna say Lego has this weird advantage because all of their figures look exactly the same, like all the body proportions, unless you give them like they recently made like the smaller feet for like Yoda, or like
Right.
if it's a shorter figure, they have like a smaller lower torso, but they have the advantage of like they can pretty much print anything on the front of of one of their little minifigures, and it's like not sexual at all. So like you can have it be any color. You can have it be a male, a guy, a girl. You just have to put different hair on it.
Yeah.
It's like there's no there. It's just flat.
Right.
There's no physical features that are different. So Lego, they should be praised for having diversity in their
I am,
figures.
yeah.
But also it's like it's kind of it's easier for them because all the
is,
figures
yeah.
look the fucking same. Like they literally their factory just stamps out the same torso for every single minifigure. So they don't have to,
All
they
they
don't
have
have
to
go out
change,
of their way.
like I sent you guys this picture. All they really have to change is skin color, and for the women, they have like more voluptuous lips and eyelashes.
It's literally just paint and a
Yeah.
different thing on their head. Like
So-
that's it. For
But I
them.
still commend them for
no,
trying.
it's good for them for trying. But
The second thing that gave me hope, I told you this before, is that shows and games, even though they were Star Wars or comic book, Marvel especially, themed at a younger demographic. So the exemplification I had was Star Wars Rebels and the superhero squad for Marvel. They had almost equal representation of females and males. Obviously, there were less in proportion because it wasn't the big movies. Those are what the kids want to buy from the movies that they've seen. But still, they always had equal representation of women in their sticker books and their action figures. So that at least gives me some hope.
Another thing about actually the reason why I started talking about the Lego thing, as far as being all those characters being the same, is because whenever you have, especially movies with like Black Widow in them, in the movies a lot of times Black Widow is wearing something that's like really like not slutty, but it's like it's slinky and it's like form fitting. And Scarlett Johansson is well endowed. You know, she's a beautiful woman. But like her costume is like kind of revealing. Point is, like, if you when you're making toys for kids, I'm not defending them not making toys of her, but they might have to make the costume, because you know that if they made like a true to some of the movies figure of some of those characters, some parents are gonna be like, why are her boobs out?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, because that's what it looks like in the movie. Shut up. But
Which is why I was
someone is gonna complain about that shit. So it might in some cases it might not be like a, well, I don't think these little kids are going to buy it. It might be more of like a, well, I don't really want these parents to bitch about her having huge boobs.
Well,
or
here,
like having
take a
her
look.
boobs out.
I think they did a great job of here. That's Sharon. If you can see in my little crappy printout, Sharon Carter and Mockingbird are pretty tastefully
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, they're not on the package.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
the name of the torso.
Yeah.
And the name of the foot, but
Yeah.
neither of their names are on the package, and that includes the back.
Yeah, I would even say, like, if I was pretending to be a sensitive, like, you know, helicopter parent, I might be like, Mockingbird's shirt is a little bit low cut.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
if you
But
read
that's pushing it.
if you see her in the comics, you're like, well, in the comic books, I don't know how she fights in that because her boobs are going to come out.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of female comic book characters. But
Yeah, and that's like a problem with the.
right.
But yeah, I can see how companies would try to err on the side of, because it's all about money. It's not about people's feelings. It's mostly about money. So like when you're making a new mold for one of these characters, you're gonna produce like say 2 million figures.
Right.
It's like if they make one of these molds and like someone is just like, oh, let me just make her shirt a little bit lower cut, and then some fucking parent goes on Twitter and is like, have you fucking seen this? I
Yeah.
can't believe that they would release a figure like this, and then they're like, well, no one's gonna buy this now, or.
But I'm surprised
like
that more of the the female friendly like parents are just like, well, they did it with Ray. Where's Ray?
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean-
but also Ray's caught. I'm
Well, she's
saying
covered up,
specifically like something like this.
It's a comic book.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And Ray is covered up a lot of the
And maybe that's why. And you know what? That's an excellent point. Maybe that's why Wonder Woman looks like a drag queen, because it's the same exact body as the other figures.
Yeah.
They just saved money.
Yeah,
That's actually a good point.
it's a money saving tactic probably. a
Still,
lot of
I think
time.
you're absolutely right. Looks like John Barrowman in drag. But to conclude, not totally all my research, and even controlling for asexual toys, which
Yeah.
I did all these variables and stuff, is still only 9.45%, which is abysmal.
Yeah, and it's not acceptable. Like it's certainly not acceptable. But I'm sure there are reasons beyond like, no, I don't think boys are going to buy these figures, because I'm sure that they've, if it were conducive to them making more money, they've definitely done like focus groups and brought little kids in and said like, which one of these figures would you like to play with, or would you like to buy all of them, or whatever. They have to have done that.
Yeah.
You know, if they think it's going to make them more money.
Right.
So it's not it's a balance. It's probably them balancing like, okay, so the boys said they would play with this Ray action figure or Mockingbird or whoever, but like also, you know, how can we most efficiently make the most possible money?
Right.
Which is still shitty, but I don't know. Yeah, we need more. Bottom line is we need more female action
We do.
figures. Give me that Rogue figure. If you're listening, someone send me that Rogue action figure.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my shelf over here.
I saw some, and just as an aside, there were X-Men and Power Rangers and WWE, and okay, forgive me, the divas suck, but okay, back to Power Rangers and, you know,
They should have old school divas like
right, like China and stuff.
no, like Sable
Oh,
and
Sable,
Sunny.
yeah.
And who's the first one? The first women's champion? The Fabulous Moolah.
Oh, wow. God, that was a while.
Yeah,
But-
that was a handsome woman.
But no female Power Rangers, no female X-Men. So,
Really?
yeah,
What?
None.
No
None,
female
none
X-Men?
that I saw.
Okay, you can't not have female Power Rangers. Like they're
It's all guys, the
Just
whole team.
all guys. No, I mean, they were
They're a full
individual
third of the
figures.
team.
There was no team like sets that I saw. It was only, and especially because, you know, again, they sell what is prominent in the media right now. So Power Rangers was like a couple figures.
Right.
But the only ones they had were men.
huh.
And I went back and looked at the girls' aisles. I'm like, maybe there's some pink and purple glitter Power Rangers or some Ray doll that has like, stickers or something.
Yeah.
And no, there weren't.
There's not even a Storm action figure, really. you know, Halle Berry is a black Oscar winner. You know, you can't watch an interview without her remind. There's no Storm action figure. I'm surprised.
I was actually going to say on the back of that Rogue comment that the '90s Storm action figure was also fucking awesome, and like it looked just like it was.
Oh, from the animated.
Fucking cool. Yeah, it was so cool. Looking.
Again, '90s X-Men. We want '90s X-Men.
Yeah.
She was my favorite drawn character because she was
looked
so
awesome.
like the gray streak and.
Well, no, her whole hair is white.
Yeah, her hair and her eyes. whatever she-
Storm. Sorry, I was still thinking Rogue.
Oh,
sorry.
Rogue was also
Rogue's
awesome.
Cool too.
Yeah, Rogue is my favorite.
Oh,
drawn character.
Rogue's outfit's awesome.
Yeah.
like she's got like 'cause it's like a cat suit, but it's not her boobs aren't out or anything.
No,
it's
she's pretty well covered up.
No, it's up to her neck.
Yeah.
Because she can't touch anybody. Like she can't have skin
Right.
exposed
Contact.
except for her face. And then she has like that badass little leather bomber jacket on too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
sweet.
and her hair's like fucking huge, like big in '90s, and like I'm not sure if it's naturally like that or if she spends a lot of time with the crimper, but because it's the '90s.
It's the '90s, yeah.
Yeah, but her hair, yeah, you're right. Rogue looks really fucking
Yeah.
cool all the time. Plus, that catsuit looks really good on her.
Yeah. She's always in midair too because she's
She's always kind of floating and like
Yeah.
majestic looking and
Yeah.
Same with Storm. Storm's always Storm has those loopy cape thing.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
she was
Her
super
wings,
cool.
yeah.
And Storm's,
Storm and her connection to the elements kind of always reminded me of Raiden with the lightning and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
it's, those are, I don't know. It's like you said before. It's not even like a male female thing. It's just like for whatever those are some of my favorite characers. They were just cool.
specifically those two characters did during the '90s X-Men cartoon. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They're
the big
arguably
guns.
the two. Well, not just cool looking, but like they're two of the most powerful characters on the team.
Oh yeah.
Like
By far.
no one can take Rogue. I mean, if she decides she's gonna beat your ass, like you're in trouble. And then Storm can control the fucking weather.
Yeah.
Like that's insanely powerful.
Yeah.
With the exception of maybe Professor X, like there's nobody really could stand up to either one of them if they run to like
Maybe
kick the
Magneto.
shit out of you. Like Wolverine could maybe take some hits from both of them, but if either one of those characters decided to kill any
They
of
can
the
both
other,
fly. They could just
Yeah.
fly
They
up
can
in the
also
air and they're like,
fly.
"Come and get me, bitch!"
I was
Like,
just
you
gonna
can't
say
do
'cause
anything.
Rogue in that series had already because
she already killed Captain Marvel, or almost killed Captain
yeah,
Marvel,
she
or
killed
Ms. Marvel.
Ms.
Marvel,
Marvel,
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how she can fly. So she's got Ms. Marvel's powers as well as her powers. So
Right.
she's.
And also also Ms. Marvel's memories too, which is really fucked up.
Oh yeah, and there's episodes about that because it haunts her. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
more female toys, okay?
Actually, yeah. What members of the X-Men would be able to survive either Rogue or Storm trying to kill them?
Professor X maybe, Magneto maybe.
I don't know. Like
No,
if Rogue
the,
really,
the team, I mean.
Oh,
if
on the
Rogue
team?
did not take her hand off of a person, they're done.
Yeah.
They're, like,
Wolverine might be able to handle it for a little bit longer than other people.
probably so.
Gambit be dead.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, no, yeah, Wolverine. The only one I could think of would be Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Like, yeah, like Professor Xavier could probably convince them not to kill him. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Other than, okay, Jean actually.
Yeah, we
She's
forget
the
about
Phoenix.
Jean. Yeah.
Also, she has telekinesis. She could probably just stop them where they are. But yeah, Cyclops would be fucked. So what are you're gonna look at me? Well, I'm gonna hit you with lightning.
Yeah.
Or like he probably hit Rogue with a blast, and she'd be like, "Sugar, that didn't hurt at all." Yeah. Civil War, J-Man.
We're done.
We're done for this
Yeah.
one. All right.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
we're
stop.
Down to the next one.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll go to the next one then. Thanks for listening. That was this episode of Grown Up Human Comic People. Sorry, I said that really fast. Grown Up Human Comic People.
That's better.
There we go.
The narrator voice.
Yeah. People. I think some people think that I talk like that.
Because they go to your trivia shows.
Yeah, they'll go to trivia and they come up and talk to me, and I speak my regular voice, and they seem disappointed.
It was funny you say that because I remember Monkey said you're gonna be way disappointed with Jared in real life.
Thanks, Dick.
He was joking, of course, but I was because I told you my friends from all my friends in trivia, they have man crushes on you. That's what he was responding to in
Oh, I
defense of
see.
him.
I see.
Fun.
So, but all right.
Well, if they're expecting just that trivia thing, then yeah, you're going to be disappointed. But if you listen to the podcast,
yeah.
you get
real
you get
Jared.
the idea.
Day-to-day conversation. Did you know that? No. Actually, hey, I have one action figure from Metal Gear Solid. Like whenever they did a run, my one action figure, Sniper Wolf.
Nice.
Oh, All right then.
All right.
Nice.
What you just said, I was thinking, like, introduce myself to be like, how's everyone doing tonight? I don't talk like
My
that.
one Metal Gear Solid
Nobody
figure.
talks like that.
No.
All right, that's enough.
We'll see you next episode.
Yeah, we'll have some Dans for you next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Get some Dan Dongili
We'll get
rants.
them Dans down here. Quit being Jags.
Grown-up human comic people! Grown-up human comic people!
B, I want to like use the Rogue and the Gambit figures just to bump
Right.
them together.
Yeah. I mean,
and then I would be
Missing
like,
out on bumping
oh,
together action Hasbro.
like, oh, come on, Monsieur. And she's like, no, Gambit, you can't do that. 'cause